For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Chris Richardson Show, currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, since the last time we talked, you had 3 games with West Virginia State, Charleston, and then Slippery Rock. Talk about this past kind of week and a half and how you guys have been going through it.
You ever seen the movie Groundhog Day, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I feel like right now, and probably what our team feels like. Every game seems to go about the same. You're playing really well for an extended stretch, and then a smaller stretch where you're not playing as well ends up costing you. You know, West Virginia State, it was the beginning of the second half. Had 13 empty possessions in about a 6-minute span there where, you know, we either missed shots or turned the ball over. And then to our guys' credit, they rallied and came back, and it was a 2-point game within a minute of the end of regulation. We couldn't get over that hump, couldn't get back out of that hole that we dug ourselves. Charleston, we dug the hole really early, got down 22. That's kind of gut check time for your team, especially when you've lost, all these close games that we've lost. And our guys never really panicked. There was no breaking apart. There was no finger pointing. They huddled up and they went back to work and got it to 16 by halftime. Came out in the second half and really rallied, and we were ahead with a minute to go, and thought we were about to go up 3 and, had some things not go our way. And credit to Charleston, they made a couple shots down the stretch. Eberhard hit a 3, and Jeremiah Keene hit a layup that ultimately won the game. So, they made a couple more plays than we did down the stretch of that one, but really proud of us fighting back from being down 22 to not just get back in the game but take the lead. And then I thought Tuesday night against Slippery Rock, really, really good team, one of the top teams in the Atlantic region this year. I'll be honest, I thought it was the best that we've played, even though, it's a game we didn't win, best that we've played. 35 minutes of really, really good basketball. And that last 5 to 7 minutes kind of really did us in. Only scored 6 points in the last 7 minutes of the game, went 2 of 6 from the free throw line, which is very uncharacteristic for us. And they made a couple tough shots and we missed some shots. So, left a couple out there and could be feeling really good right now after each of those games. Like the direction we're headed, just wish we could finish a couple of these close games, and we just got to continue to plug away and work.
And you mentioned that resiliency your team has shown, battling back against State, battling back against Charleston. What kind of motivates them to kind of flip that switch, or how are they able to do that?
I don't even know if it's flipping a switch, but they're just a really tight-knit group. They don't want to let each other down. They're accountable. They're accountable for their own actions and the actions of their teammates, and that makes my job a lot easier. And so as long as they continue to have that type of attitude and mindset and come in every day working and excited to get back to work and, enjoy being around each other, we're going to be fine. These things are going to start breaking our way. We're learning how to win. It sounds cliche, but it does take time to learn how to win, and we're getting closer. Like I said, I thought we played our best game of the season Tuesday night. We just got to finish one of these.
And in that game against Slippery Rock, your team did a great job of spreading the ball around. You had 5 guys in double digits in that game. Talk about the offense and how they're involving everybody the way they are.
Yeah, not surprising. If you watched our team earlier in the year, you didn't see as much of that. But we've seen it a ton in practice. You've seen it in our preseason scrimmages. And I think, when the lights come on, when you're playing in front of a crowd and, the game counts and, the stream's on and all that, the popcorn's popping, as they say. It takes a little bit of time to get used to that if you haven't done that before. And we've got a lot of guys that are playing college basketball, at this level for the first time. And so we are a team that shares the ball well. We had, I think, 17 assists against Slippery Rock, and it wouldn't surprise me to see some 20-assist games down the road. Big part of that's making shots, and I think it would have been well over 20 if we would have made a couple more shots.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, you guys have started this non-conference stretch during the holiday break. How do you kind of use this stretch to kind of get better and prepare for the second half of your conference schedule in 23?
Yeah, it's a little different than conference play because conference play, everybody knows, each other really well, each other's programs really well, the players really well. We all recruit a lot of the same people. So, there's not as many secrets, so to speak, in conference play. Non-conference play, it's not like there's an element of surprise, but, you may not have the the game experience of going against the team that you're playing as often, because you may only play them once a year, once every couple years. So, Slippery Rock, they've got some guys that were on their team last year when we went up there and played, and vice versa. But it's basically a game between two teams that are doing a lot of new things. Ohio Dominican I haven't dug into as much yet, but I would imagine they've got a lot of guys back from last year as well, even though they lost a couple guys. But it's just there's not as much familiarity. You maybe don't pick up on tendencies quite as quick because you haven't watched them play as much. You don't track their games like you track the other teams in the conference. Everybody in the conference is always checking on how each other's playing. So it is a little bit different, but for us, the mission's the same. Continue to keep working and find a way to close out a couple of these games.
And you guys getting ready to head to Ohio Dominican here on Monday. Talk about your preparation for that game and kind of how you're looking going into that matchup.
Yeah. Well, by the time we practice, we're doing this Friday morning. By the time we practice Friday afternoon, we'll be all completely done with our final exams. And so that's a little bit of a stress reliever for, some of our guys that, now all they have to really focus on the next few days is basketball. We'll do some community work this weekend as well, but, it's a good time to be a college basketball player once final exams are over, because that time management, studying for tests, getting your homework done, maybe you have a discussion post due by, midnight, and, we're practicing until 8 o'clock or whatever. All those sorts of things kind of go away for a few weeks and gives you a chance to kind of refresh and recharge from an academic standpoint and, pick it back up in a couple weeks when the second semester starts. But we're just looking forward to getting better and another great opportunity to go over to Ohio Dominican and, end the first portion of our schedule on a good note before we go on the Life in the Balance break.
And finally, as you head into this final game before that little break, talk about what you're looking for your team goals-wise and how they're looking for the rest of the year.
Yeah, just start stringing together some more, we chart 3 in a row stops, just like every team in the country does. If you get 7 strings of 3 in a row stops, 3 stops in a row, your odds of winning are well into the 90 percentages. So we had, I think it was the Charleston game, we had 5 2 in a rows in the first half. Like that right there, if you get 3 of those, it changes the complete context of the game. So finishing some of those 3 in a rows, and then on the other end, not having 3 possessions in a row where we don't score. That's really what we got to eliminate. That's what cost us against State. That's what cost us against Slippery Rock. So being a little bit more consistent, being a little bit more organized when things aren't going our way, just being a little bit more poised and composed and making sure we get a good shot every possession. So we're right there. Just got to keep working.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck this week, and also have a happy holiday.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays, and go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.